Okay, this is just a quick look at the stash for the 2014 show. In the back there are all the mortar racks. We've got a little over 800 of those. And then in front, these are 500 gram cakes, pretty much 4 to a board. Some are 5, and we've got almost 90 of those. We've got a couple of the 3-inch finale cakes. This is a little Comet launcher. Got 2 of these. They each have 20 Comets, and they'll be going off later in the show at about 2 every 40 seconds, and one launcher will be set up way on the left, the other one is set up way on the right, and they'll be kind of firing at an angle across the main firing line. And we've got some 200 gram boards, not quite 200 gram cakes, not as many as we had last year. That was too many, but still should be pretty interesting. Over here, these are my mines, and I've got 70 red and 70 green mines, single shot. Mixed in with them are some more Comets, and they'll be going off sort of as punctuation marks during the show. So it's Thursday morning, 2 days before our shoot. And this is all the stuff. We just brought it over, and now we're going to pull it apart and start setting it up on the trailers. And then once we get a little farther along here, we'll do another one. So see you in a bit. Okay, we got things a little more organized. We got them pulled out from the wall and got them lined up in the order in which they're going to be set up on the trailer. And all this stuff here is what we call our first segment. And these are kind of standard. I mean, you've got a 200 gram board, and then a 500 gram board, and then a bunch of mortars, and then got some mines, and sort of repeat that. Altogether, we'll have 10 200 gram boards and 9 500 gram boards. Have probably about 10 sprinkler cakes mixed in along with them. Overall, we got almost 500 mortars in here. Every 200 gram section like this one will have either 16 or 24 mortars attached to it. Throw sprinklers in between. There's a little section of mine. This is actually the false finale section. We'll lead off with this Multiplicity, which is really pretty good 320 12-shot sprinkler cake, and we'll have 20 mines and a couple of Comets, and then I've got 28 200 gram cakes right here, and then there are going to be another 6 full auto sprinkler cakes going with it, and it's going to have 36 mortars attached to it. So all in all, this should be a pretty interesting thing. This will be probably, hopefully this will fit on 2 trailers, 16 and a 20-foot. Running time on this one should be about 22, 23 minutes or so. The idea is to have the whole show last about 30 minutes. So this section will take, as I say, 22, 23 minutes. All this stuff over here, this is my second segment, and it's going to be a little different. And once I get it set up, I'll be able to show it to you. Basically, we've got about 50, 55 500 gram cakes, and we've got a handful of the 3-inch finales, and we'll have 9 sprinklers, and there'll be some mortars thrown in here, not a whole lot, and then most of the rest of the mortars will have about 300 of them, and this will be the final finale, and they'll go off in not sure if I want to have them go off in 60 seconds or have half of them go off in 30 and the other half go off in 15. We'll have to think about that one. But altogether, this segment right here should take about 7 minutes or so. The finale, as I say, 45, 60 seconds. So we should be on target, all things going the way they're supposed to last about 30 minutes. And these are the Comet towers. We'll have them on either side of the second segment, and they'll just be shooting off Comets, 2 every 40 seconds, just kind of punctuation marks. So now it's time to start getting the stuff ready. We're going to start setting up this trailer right here. It's a 16-footer, and it's got a 4-foot ramp, so this ought to be able to get, I'm hoping, at least half of all this stuff on it, and we'll take it from there. So we'll talk to you a little bit. Okay, Fireworks Show 2014. A little smaller than last year, but still pretty good sized. This is our first trailer, and this has 24 sections to it. Section might be 3 or 4 500-gram cakes. It might be some 9 or 12 200-gram cakes with some sprinklers and mortars attached. Everything is pretty much fused up. I've got a total of about a little over 50 cues for the entire show. Everything's wired and hopefully pretty well ready to go. But this is where we'll start. This trailer here in the middle is going to be in the second major section, and we're going to do a little different this year. The first trailer we looked at will go off first. It's a 22-foot trailer. Then we've got a 12-foot trailer with a 4-foot ramp on it, and this will go off second. And there's another 12 sections in here. And again, 500-gram cakes, 200-gram cakes, sprinkler cakes, a lot of mortars. Got a little different this year. Have a lot of single-shot mines and single-shot comets, which hopefully will kind of be a little bit different than what we had last year. This is the false finale section. We've got 28 200-gram cakes and 36 mortars going off with it, and they'll start off with those mines and comets. Then after that, the major segment, about 22-23 minutes, we are going to go to a little different. We're going to have 2 legs, a left leg and a right leg. Each one is identical. They've got 20 cakes, all 500-gram, and we'll have, these first 10 will go off one at a time, about 30 seconds apiece. So that should take about 5 minutes. Then these other 10 will go off 2 at a time. That's why they're angled. Take another 2.5 minutes. And while that's going on, I've got a comet rack, and I've got 20 comets, and 2 will be going off about every 40 seconds, and they're firing at an angle. And the idea is that while the right leg is going off, we have the left leg over here, which is identical. That also has 10 cakes going off one by one for 5 minutes, and then another 10 cakes going off 2 by 2 for another 2.5 minutes. And then we've got the second comet rack, and again this is shooting off at about a 55-degree angle. I've got them offset a tiny little bit so there's no chance of left comets hitting the right comets. And then while that's going off, we've got this center section, and this got a lot of stuff on it. A lot of sprinkler cakes. It's got another 9 500-gram cakes. It's got a handful of the 3-inch finale cakes. Got quite a few mines. We've got a block of 20 here, and we've got another block of 20 there, and a block of 40 there. Altogether, I've got 140 mines and 100 comets. This leg over here, it's got 4 sections, or four racks to it. Each rack has got 5 comets, and then 6 mortars, and then 5 comets, and then another 6 mortars, and we've got 4 of those. And they'll just be firing off sort of like accent points, punctuation marks, if you will. And then finishing up with sprinklers, and then while the big 500-gram cakes are going off, we'll have we'll finish off with these 40 mines and some pretty good sprinkler cakes. And then for the finale, we've got about 300 mortars, and they're all lined up. It's about 40 feet long. And the idea is that I've got 3 firing points. Got one here, you can see the firing lines, and I've got another one here, and I've got a third one down there. So what we'll be doing is we'll be starting at 3 different points and then moving left and right, and hopefully I should have kind of like a little ripple effect. and hoping that this will take about a minute. So altogether, the whole show should run about 30 minutes. That's what we're hoping. And we'll find out. And so we'll see in a few hours. And hopefully this baby will be worth all the time and trouble, not to mention the expense. With our left leg, our primary section, our second part to the primary section, our center part of the second segment, and then finally the right leg down there. So see you in a little bit.